Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica and today I will be doing my first update for my Pan That palette, and I can't believe it's already the first update because it seems like it's kind of late. But that's because I started this Pan That palette so late in January that of course this update is going to be delayed as well. I am working on the Pixi and Tina Yong collaboration called Tones and Textures Feelin' Fresh. And I have my notebook right here with all the numbers. The date on here says January 30th, so literally the second to last day of January. So this update is a little bit earlier than I guess future updates will be, but I don't think I really used this palette for a week. I think that's what happened, and that's why the update is so late. Anyways, I don't think my numbers on here are accurate. I think I'm missing maybe 2 or 3 days of progress. But I'm just going to get started. I am going to insert a picture of last month's progress and what my palette looks like now. To be honest, there's not much of a difference because this palette does have 25 shades and it's really hard to show progress if you're dipping into a little bit of everything. But this is my progress for the last month or so. As you can see, this palette looks a little bit busted, and if you buy this particular palette, which I don't really recommend that you do, just know that it won't look like this because I did take out some shades that didn't work for me. I replaced it with some Huda eyeshadows because I don't want to show off the packaging for Huda, but I do like her eyeshadows and I do want to use it up, so I have been pressing them into this palette. Anyways, so we'll just pretend that they're Pixi shadows, which they definitely are not. And I obviously have some thoughts after using this for about 3 or 4 weeks. I did not use this for a whole month for sure. I'll go over each one and I'll probably insert like a picture in this corner, so I'm going to scoot over a little bit and put a star over each shade I'm talking about. Starting with shade number 1, Feelin' Fresh, I used it 14 times. Shade 2, Soft Fade, I used twice. Shade 3, Sand, I used once. Shade 4, Crease, I used it once. Shade 5, Buttercup, I used it once. Shade 6 is 6 and 7 and 16 are all repressed shades, but I'm going to say that it is the original name. Gleam, I only used once. Shade 7, Sweet Pea, I used 0 times. 8, Foxy, I used 0 times. 9, Daily Dose, I used 5 times. Oh, yeah, I remember really liking to pair Daily Dose with another shade, which you will see later. Shade 10, Butterflies, I used it twice. 11, Rosy, I used it 0 times. 12, Sassy, I used it once. 13, Vibin, I used it once. 14, Flossom, I used it twice. Shade 15, Snug, 0 times. Electric, also 0 times. 17, Juicy, I used it once. 18, Thrivin', I used it 0 times. Shade number 19, Shout Out, I used it 5 times, so I really like to pair Shout Out with Daily Dose. Shade 20, Depth, I used it 0 times. 21, Melon, I used it once. 22, Mood, I used it once. 23, Seaside, I used it twice. 24, Magic, I used it once. And 25, After Dark. It looks like I wrote After Bark on here. I used it 0 times. So there's a lot of zeros and ones, and well, I mean, that's to be expected with a palette this big. And I do have some updated thoughts on this. So I think I used this for a few days in the beginning of January just to test it out before I decided to make this my Pan That palette officially. And I remember when I was testing it out back then, I really did not like this palette. Like, before I even decided to officially pan this, I thought it was an okay palette. And then when I was testing it out to see if it was viable as a Pan That palette, I was thinking to myself, what have I done? I really do not like this palette. But after using it for about 3 weeks, I guess, I think it's fine. And I use this 5 days out of the week. At least I use this shade up here whenever I do my makeup. And to be honest, recently I haven't been into doing my makeup. I have not worn makeup for like 3 days. 2020 and 2021 I was really into makeup. Now I'm just like, I don't feel like it. So I don't know what's gotten into me, but I would always wear the shade Feeling Fresh whenever I was doing my eyeshadow or just my makeup in general, except for today, which this was not the best example of I always wear eyeshadow whenever I do makeup. My face is covered in dust. I don't know if you can tell because I was out walking and then there was not a dust storm, but there was like really strong winds and dust got all over me, so now I'm wearing a different set of clothes than I was wearing earlier today. And I didn't want to put on too much makeup because I didn't want the makeup to get dirty. I mentioned in the previous video, which was the intro, that some of the shades didn't work for me and I decided to take them out. There's another shade that doesn't really work for me, and it's this one, number 5, Buttercup. Yeah, I don't understand how this is Buttercup because it is peach. And it is actually too light for me. It does not show up on my skin. But what I did on Friday, I think, I took it underneath my eyes, like where my bags are. Even though I don't really have bags. I guess I do a little, but I decided on Friday, because I was exhausted, that I would just dust it under my eyes because I wasn't going out, but I still went out and totally forgot. And I just thought to myself, like, I'm going to try using this like peachy salmon color under my eyes because that's supposed to cancel out any, I guess, blue or purple. I forgot how the saying goes, but any blue under your eyes. I think salmon cancels out blue. So I tried it and it actually works, but there's a little bit of shimmer in this eyeshadow, so it was sparkly under there, which I didn't really mind because I was not planning on going out, but when I went out anyways, no one said anything because by the time I was outside, it was too dark to really notice. But I think this will be good for correcting like any dark circles, so that's how I'm going to use it in the future because it doesn't work for me otherwise, and I'm glad I've put it to use. And then I will neutralize it with this yellow in the center, which is called Sand. So I've only used it once and Sand once, and that's what the one time comes from. And my favorite combination to use this month was Daily Dose and Shoutout. So this brown up here and this brown down here. This one is a matte and this one is more of a shimmer, and the metallics in here, to be honest, don't really pop. It needs a lot of work. Like, you need a glitter glue for it to really pop. And so I've just not been using a glitter glue because I don't care enough for them to like really show. But I guess if you were interested in that, you could. Not burnt out on this yet. It definitely is very everyday friendly, and I believe I will reach for this on most days. But actually at my current workplace, we don't use cameras at work. Like, whenever I do meetings, everyone has their camera off. I only used my camera once, and that was to show my boss my vaccination card because he had forgotten to take a look at it when I first went into the office. And for some strange reason, they're not allowed to have a copy of it. They have to like physically see it. So that was the only time I turned on my camera. So that makes me think that I can definitely get away with wearing bold colors, except when I have to go into the office. Then I would obviously wear something more neutral. But even though I know that I don't have to turn my camera on, I'm still a little bit hesitant to wear, like, you know, blue eyeshadow. So I only try to do that on days where I know I don't have a meeting scheduled. I think on last Wednesday was the day I decided to wear this blue because last Wednesday was Deoxys for Pokemon Go, and for those of you who don't know, I play still. Yes, it's a great way to get exercise, otherwise I would just be sitting at my desk playing Sims all day, or just playing Animal Crossing on my Switch all day. But yeah, I think Pokemon Go is great. Anyway, so every Wednesday there's a raid hour, and I like to coordinate my eyeshadow to the shiny version of whatever Pokemon is out. Or if there is no shiny version, I will just wear whatever is out regularly. Shiny Deoxys is this color of bluish teal, yellow, and purple. So I don't think I got a picture, but I used this blue for that. And I think I'm going to use it again this week because it is still Shiny Deoxys. It is still Deoxys this week, so there will be at least one more use out of this. For some strange reason, in March, I really like to wear pinks. Like, I associate March with, like, spring, so, you know, more pastel-y colors, more, like, soft pinks, soft oranges, greens. There's not really a green. Oh, there's a green in here, so maybe in this month, I will definitely get more use out of the shade Magic. How is this Magic? Whatever. It's a forest green color, and I think it will go well with any of these browns because these browns are really light. They don't appear to be the same color as they are in the pan. Whatever color you see, it's much lighter. So I will definitely be using more of that in March. And then in April, I like to wear purples and taupes. Like, I like to go back into, like, darker, gloomier colors. I don't know why I associate April with cloudy weather and overcast weather, which is my favorite type of weather. Anyways, I'm blabbing too much, but yeah, I think I will get more use out of the greens and maybe the pinks as well, because in January I was just really using the brown shades. So that's everything for this palette. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a month. Bye!